We've also talked about how we want to continue to extend our platform to plug this into the ecosystem that you run. To show you this, let's take a look at an exciting new workflow from one of our partners, which can help you better communicate compliance policies to your end users. To do that, I'd like to invite the CEO of Amplifier Security, Shreyas Sadalgi, to the stage. Shreyas, it's great to have you on the JNUC stage. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a privilege to join you on the stage, and Jamf Nation, I'm really amped up to be here with all of you.
Awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about Amplifier Security and what you guys do?
Sure. As all of you know, Jamf does a phenomenal job of securing devices. At Amplifier, we're securing who's in between the keyboard and the chair, all of us humans. But we're not building yet another security tool to solve that. We believe the future of cybersecurity is about human engagement. It's about how do you use your existing tools to engage with employees and empower them to make security more actionable. And here's why engagement really matters. Because as all of you know, security actually breaks down at the last mile. It's when user interaction is involved to close security gaps, and many of you in the audience have to chip in and chase employees to patch vulnerabilities, share unsensitive files, or activate MFA and all those gaps. And when these pending actions keep building up, that is what ends up opening more human vulnerabilities, and that is what attackers love to exploit. So at Amplifier, we're actually solving that with a control plane that bridges the gap between all your tools and your employees. It really activates a conversational layer that helps employees understand the why behind all their risks, and just makes it easy to take the right security actions. We're really flipping the script and making security more human.
Awesome. Making security human. I love that perspective. Could you tell us about some of the challenges that you have in doing this, and how are you integrating with Jamf to make this possible?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge, Milind, is about balancing employee experience and end-user security. It's about how do you not run brute force automations, but instead loop in employees with empathy during that process of automation so that they can actually learn in that moment of risk intervention. And so we built an AI security engineer to go solve that. It really shows up as an AI agent who's a really buddy with employees and has one-on-one conversations with a lot of empathy and context with full knowledge of the employee's profile. And to do that, we have a human risk graph, and that human risk graph actually relies on Jamf as the foundation for device intelligence. It integrates deeply with Jamf's platform APIs to get a whole bunch of information like device attributes, agent status, smart groups, and you name it. And here's a view of what that human risk graph can unlock for security teams. For the first time, you can actually see a real-time view of all the attack paths that lead up to an employee's breach. It really unlocks the value of how an employee becomes more vulnerable with the multiple security gaps associated with them. And this is all powered by live data from Jamf and the rest of your security stack. And here's another simple but powerful view of showing you who your riskiest employees are. And again, this is what brings up all the insights based on missing configurations, tooling coverage gaps, open vulnerabilities, identity gaps. It really helps you mine the insights from siloed data sitting across all your security tools.
Awesome. So that sounds great for us on the administrative side. What does the end user experience look like? What do they see? What do they feel?
Well, that's best experience with a demo. So let me tee that up. What you're going to see here is how Jamf connects to Amplifier and how Amplifier can monitor for changes with all the smart group configurations and then trigger employee engagements with where they work in Slack and Teams. So we start with compliance benchmarks. And so this is a great example of how you can use that in monitor mode, but then you enforce with user engagements. But maybe you want to be selective of the cohorts of users you want to engage with. So in this case, let's say you want to select Ventura devices. And so then you move into Amplifier's Jamf configuration, where we're actually pulling all those smart groups, but synchronizing them continuously. And this is where you can select which smart group users you want to engage with. And then you move into our AI studio, where you can really design user engagements with easy drag-and-drop prompts to orchestrate user actions. And so this one is around a screensaver compliance violation. And you can see here, we want to change the tone to maybe humorous, because we ship them as default templates, but you can obviously tune them to your own company's culture and policy. Now we flip over to the end-user experience. This is David, the developer, and so he's working on an important R&D project that requires him to tinker with screensaver settings. So he's a local administrator, he has the privileges, so he's going to go and change that and continue working. And you can see, now he's pinged by Ampi, the AI security engineer. So Ampi engages with a lot of context on what happened, but with some humor, right? And the context of why it's important for a SOC 2 obligation for the customer. And David doesn't need to fix that right away. He can pick a time to go fix this later. And when that time arrives, Ampi continues the conversation with David. And what's the first thing that David does? Let's see. It's what all of us would do, right? Let me do this later. But you can see how Ampi is actually coaching David to say, hey, this is important based on your privilege, your role, and really it's important for the company's SOC 2 policies. And David says, fine, I'll accept that, and I'll just go fix that right away. And he can ask for instructions, and you can see that Ampi gives David very straightforward instructions. Now, David is a pretty sophisticated person, so he doesn't really need those instructions, but you can see how we can make this really intuitive for non-technical users. So David can actually go ahead and follow the instructions and fix that himself, and once he's done, we pick up that change and finally close the loop with the employees, right? We celebrate with them. And David also gets a nice training tip as a best practice of why it's not a good thing to do that again. But now David is motivated to go check his personal security portal to see how he's doing from an overall security health perspective. And you can see he's only 9 points away from a perfect health score if he takes care of fixing his CrowdStrike vulnerability and his inactive MFA factor in Okta. So this, folks, is how you can amplify your security.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Shreyas. So, as an end user of Jamf products myself, I appreciate anything that makes our everyday life just a little bit easier. Aside from that, we heard Mike earlier talk about our platform integration strategy and the new platform APIs. As an integrator, could you tell us a little bit about your perspective? Was there anything you found exciting, and did anything catch your eye?
Yeah, so we've actually pushed the pedal to the metal on all of your Jamf Pro APIs. We've actually used all the device inventory APIs across Jamf Pro, Smart Groups, webhooks. But what we're really excited is about the new platform APIs that Mike talked about, because it really unifies a whole bunch of things around Jamf Pro, Jamf Protect, compliance benchmarks, as well as blueprints, because these feed us more higher fidelity events for us to take actions with end users. And the second thing is actually your Jamf Security Cloud, right? We would look forward to really ingesting Jamf risk signals and actually feed them into our human risk graph to make that more powerful. And finally, you saw the security portal. That's today available only in a Chrome extension. So we're really eager to bring that to life in Jamf Self-Service Plus as a native third-party app widget to provide the best Mac desktop experience.
Awesome. Well, if you guys keep integrating, we'll keep building more things into the platform. So just let us know what you need.
Yeah.
But before we get on to the next bit, you've got something to announce, right?
Yes, I do. Well, if you didn't notice, we have a special offer for all of you JNUC attendees. If you're interested in using Amplifier with compliance benchmarks, you can do that today at no cost, unlimited devices, unlimited users. And if you want to learn more, we have a breakout session tomorrow where you'll hear directly from the CISO of Oscar Health of why their employees are amped up. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Shreyas, for showing us. Thanks so much, Shreyas, for showing us such a meaningful use case with our APIs and showing the audience, compliance doesn't have to be rigid. You can tailor it to meet this personalized setup of your particular organization. So thank you so much, and please give a round of applause for Shreyas and the Amplifier team.